Back in this corner, I have a 68 Deluxe Reverb. It is a super cool amp. It's got the drip edge, it's a silver face, it is a very cool amp, and it has a 2-prong power cord. Today, you and I get to go to EccoHollow, super cool repair shop in Stanton, Virginia. Are 2-prong amps actually dangerous? And is there such a thing as the death cap, and is it worth recapping an old amp? If you know this part of Virginia, there aren't many options for good repair people that are close by. So let's take the thing down to EccoHollow. I'm excited to show you guys, and I'm going to bring the camera with me. So, boom. Now, there are some introductions that need to happen. This is the new Guitar Hunter vehicle. It's a Mazda 5 from 2009. I got a pretty good deal on it. And I got this because I was in a pretty scary car wreck coming home from Merlefest. I didn't get hurt. Praise the Lord. I don't know how that happens. But anyway, all that to say, we ended up being fine. So now this is it. A 2009 Mazda. Mazda 5 is a tiny little minivan. Let's go to Stanton and see EccoHollow. Okay, the wreck. Like I said, I had my hazard lights on. I had some definite car trouble, but I was trying to get out of the way. The engine was off. The car was in neutral because it's a 5-speed. And so I didn't want to steer too much. I didn't want to brake too hard. I wanted to just get over out of the way. And this car behind me, he just was texting on his phone. Like, I literally could see the top of his head out of the windshield. And I had to then brace for impact. So, yeah, he hit me hard. And for probably 10 days afterwards, both of my arms were so sore. I couldn't really play guitar that well. So it's weird. It doesn't seem like there was a break, but there was like a 7-day break where I just didn't really play guitar. It ended up being at the same time we were on vacation, but it was intense. It was definitely, like, I've been in a couple wrecks, and it's the worst wreck I've ever been in. Because when he hit me, he hit the car so hard that it blew out all 3 of the back windows. And all of a sudden I saw like a splash of water on the windshield. And it wasn't until I got out of the car and I realized, like, first I was like, am I bleeding? But am I bleeding ice water? And then that's when I realized that I had a cooler, an ice chest in the back of the car. And so what had happened was the floor had crumpled up, the ice in the ice box literally just got squished against the ceiling, shot the water out this way, and then the cooler itself went out the back window and went under the car behind me. I then got out, and there's just broken glass everywhere. Everything was all crazy. My camera was in there, and the camera wasn't in my camera bag because I'd been using it, but I'd stopped at a rest stop. And so it was all like kind of tucked behind the seat back here. And so like my computer was loose, my camera was loose, and somehow none of that stuff broke. It was really, really intense. The other thing is, I had a car seat in here, and the car seat was like scrunched up in the back seat, and then also it was just covered with glass. So I just left that there, called that a day. So I ended up getting this. I got a Mazda 5, which is, by all accounts, all of my friends have said it's a nerdy car. And it is. It's a tiny little minivan, but look back here. Check this out. So I don't know if you can see that, but it's a 2 sliding door. It's the size of a Mazda 3, but it seats 6. That's a hard sentence. It seats 6 people, and so with those 6 people in here, there's still a little bit of storage behind the back. But basically, there's 4 captains. And then I can lay the back seats down. I can also lay both of the middle seats down. And so, for me, as someone who regularly finds myself in a situation in which I need to carry 6 or 8 guitars, this works a lot better for me. And so anyway, that's the long-winded version of what happened in the car. The craziest wreck I've ever been in, but it feels like we've wound up with a car that I really like. Can carry a bunch of guitars. I also put a new radio in it. It feels like we finally kind of arrived. We're like, I have air conditioning, I have Bluetooth, I have all the things I need to chase down as many cool guitars as I can. So anyway, we're on the interstate now. Let's go to Stanton.
Lights on the tree.
pretty good. How about you?
Good.
Awesome. You can just set it right there.
Cool.
Got the cover and everything.
Yeah, it's the original Victoria luggage.
Oh,
Yeah.
Awesome.
So anyway, I'm Jeremy.
It's nice to meet you. I'm
Cool.
Waverly.
Waverly.
Yeah.
Cool. Good to meet you, man. Yeah. So 68 Deluxe Reverb, and probably needs some caps. I don't think it's ever been done. Has a 2-prong power cord.
2-prong power cord definitely needs to go for safety.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that true? I've
It
heard
is
it on the internet.
Very much true.
Okay.
With old Fenders, you should update them to modern standards, which is grounded power and the fuse and switch on the hot,
Okay.
so that everything's safe.
Got it. So then, if anything does happen, it'll just pop the fuse.
Pop the fuse and keep you safe.
And
So
not
that
your
way
teeth.
you're, that way you're not up at the ground when you touch a microphone.
Sheesh. Okay. I used to have I remember a PA. We had an old PV PA when I was in high school.
Yeah,
And the same thing, just like zap your teeth. Yeah.
Yeah, and
But-
it had polarity reversal switch, and sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. And
Yeah.
that cap will short and it'll kill you. That's
Sheesh.
why they call it the death
Will
cap.
it actually?
It will
really
actually
will.
short, because what it does is it'll reference the hotline of your chassis, your power coming in
Gotcha.
to the ground when it shorts,
And then all
and
of a
it'll
sudden-
turn your chassis to ground. I mean, sorry, your chassis should be ground,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden you've got this shorted thing that's taking 120 volts
Yeah,
and
so
putting it
voltage
on your
into that.
chassis, and then now your strings are at 120 volts AC.
Yes. And us being
So-
made mostly of water.
There are caps that are made for going to ground these days. I mean, we have safety caps, but that's not what they used back in the old days. They just used regular old
Gotcha.
tube amp caps,
Okay.
and they fail short when they fail.
Okay.
So-
And so the other question is it worth? I don't think that the caps have ever been done. Is that a thing you should do? Should I
is-
worry about it being all original?
Nope, you should. The caps are consumables, so when you yeah, you should always replace them if they're the original caps in that era. Fender, yeah, it's time. They're only really meant to last about 20 years.
Okay.
And modern cap technology is better.
Okay.
And there's a lot of folks out there making tube amp specific caps. So it's like they're, a lot of people will argue that the old caps are better, and it's not really true anymore. There may have been some dark times where we didn't care about some tube stuff, but people really care about tube stuff now. And I can get Sprague Adams or,
cool.
mod caps or any number of things that are really, kind of great for tube amps.
Cool.
So
it makes me feel a lot better hearing you say, like, well, they're consumables, like they're a thing that wears out.
Yeah, they're just like tires or gas or belts or anything else. They tubes and caps are consumables, and when you're concerned about keeping it all original and you leave those caps in there and they short, and they can take out either one or both of your transformers, and your transformers definitely
and then all of a
contribute.
sudden,
They contribute way more to the sound than the caps did.
And man, amps with non-original transformers.
Yeah,
that's worth way less.
That's worth way less than it, being properly maintained.
Dude, that is worth the price of entry.
That's worth the price of entry. So on this one, it's actually, they changed very little except for the cosmetics. So this one pretty much is still just a black panel.
Yeah.
There's a fire. Maybe they changed the bias from total bias to balance, which is not even, it's actually an advantage because you can change one resistor and then you can have both.
Really?
And then you can run unmatched tubes, which is a really great thing. So I'm actually not a one for just make it just like a black panel, because actually you can run unmatched tubes. You don't have to rewire anything. You replace a resistor with a trim pot. And now you've got control over total bias and the balance between the tubes, so you can run an unmatched set of tubes and balance between them. So
I always just assumed it was about the same because it sounds very similar.
Yeah, though they really are. This year they are, they're post CBS, but they're the same circuit.
So, all right, man. Well,
cool.
How can people find you on the internet? Do you want people to find you on the internet?
I do want people to find me on the internet. EccoHollow.com. It's
ECCO.
ECCO. Oh yeah, those are the weird tubes.
Yeah, what are those?
And things that my kid shoves in there.
I remember this happening.
Dumped 3 feet of water in my shop
3
from
feet.
a flash flood. So
So-
that was us cleaning the shop out, putting everything in storage so that we can go dry it out. And yeah.
I
So-
remember hearing about that. So I lived in New Orleans for a while, and that's right when we moved back. But Elliot,
Elliot was down here. I mean, we had, it's funny because it was a tragedy, but also we probably had like 50 people down here the next day helping us get things into storage and stuff.
And do you have stuff that has? How much stuff did you lose? Is there stuff that you can still fix? Is it?
I've had a pretty good salvage rate. About 90% of the stuff
Holy cow.
I mean, I've had to recone a lot of speakers, and
Okay.
I've had to fix a lot of wood, and like all of my guitars were here and underwater, so they had to be pulled apart. But nothing was beyond repair.
Okay.
It's just uglier than they already were, but I wasn't nice to my guitars to begin with. So
That's cool, man. Yeah, there's a strange thing that suffering does to us.
Yeah.
Like it kind of it reveals what you got left.
yeah.
So-
And I'm not sure I could have gotten through it if all of Stanton hadn't showed up to help. So
Yeah, man, cool. All right, Waverly, good to see you, man.
good to see you.
All right, cool shop, and so just let me know when it's ready, and I'll come
Cool,
back down.
you got it.
Cool.
Have
All
a
right,
good one.
let's get out of here.